talk about veterans as well, because they're in the Sun this morning having a go. You know, we broke the news yesterday about
Harry?
Prince Harry.
He's lying.
Well, basically, they're having a massive go, saying Harry's £370 million gaffe. And there's a guy by the name of Ben Parkinson, ex-paratrooper, veterans campaigner, waded into the Harry debate and said that he was baffled by Prince Harry's claims the media did nothing to back the heroes of Afghanistan.
Also, he said that we didn't report it.
Yeah.
We reported it, you know, all the time in a massive sense. Do you remember, Mike? Do you remember when the poor fallen heroes of Afghanistan came back and they used to go to Wootton Bassett?
Yes.
And the papers covered that every day.
Absolutely right.
The people lined the streets. So the point is, this guy, he can't say anything without blaming the press, blaming the newspaper. He hates newspapers. Now, from this statement, they didn't cover the wounded, they didn't cover the dead in Afghanistan, and that made me very annoyed. From this statement, he hates newspapers, but it's quite clear he never, ever reads the damn things.
Well, of course he doesn't. He appears to have forgotten as well that in 2007, before his first tour of Afghanistan, the Sun actually launched a campaign backing the Help for Heroes charity, which went on to raise 370 million quid. And the first Sun Military Awards, saluting the bravest of the brave, was actually launched in 2008, after being planned before he went to the war zone. So it was all going on. He just didn't know it was going on.
Well, he doesn't read the papers.
But Harry's a guy who, if nobody's told him something, he doesn't think it happened. You kind of go, well, it's like when he was in the witness stand, wasn't he? When he was giving evidence against the various newspapers he was suing, and they said, well, why do you think your phone was hacked? And he didn't know.
So
I'm not sure.
Must have been.
It must have been.
Well, the point is, as I said during his strange court drama that time, I think he creates fantasy pictures in his mind.
Yes.
You know, he kind of creates a narrative.
Convinces himself.
In his fevered mind.
Yes.
And then seconds later, that becomes his reality. So in his tortured, twisted, weird world, the newspapers didn't care about the fallen, didn't care about our heroes being wounded in Afghanistan, and didn't report it. All three of those statements are outrageously wrong.
Exactly right.
Outrageously untrue. And he should retract that.
Well, he should have a bit more responsibility about the things that he says, shouldn't he? Because he's always accusing others of writing stories that aren't true. Well, half the stuff that he comes out with isn't true.
Yeah, well, I think we know now he doesn't take any care with what he says.
Yes.
He just says what comes into his so-called mind, and out it spews in a kind of stream of unconsciousness. It's just ridiculous. This statement is wrong and actually extremely outrageous.
It really is.